The sun peeked over the rolling hills, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and gold. Molly, a golden retriever with fur the color of sunshine, stretched languidly, her tail thumping a happy rhythm against the wooden floor. Today was a day for adventure. With a joyful bark, she bounded out the back door, eager to explore the familiar paths around her cozy home. The air smelled of fresh dew and blooming wildflowers, a symphony of scents that made her nose twitch with delight. Her favorite destination was the edge of the Whispering Woods, a place of mystery and wonder, where sunlight dappled through the leaves, creating dancing patterns on the forest floor. As Molly ventured deeper into the woods, the sounds around her shifted. The gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, creating a soft, whispering sound that gave the woods their name. Birds chirped their sweet melodies, and the occasional scamper of a squirrel broke the peaceful silence. Molly loved the feeling of the cool earth beneath her paws and the scent of damp moss clinging to the ancient trees. She sniffed at a patch of vibrant bluebells, their delicate fragrance filling her senses. Suddenly, a flash of red caught her eye, disappearing behind a thick oak tree. Curiosity piqued, Molly cautiously approached, her tail wagging with anticipation. Peeking around the oak tree, Molly spotted a small, red fox huddled beneath its branches. The fox was thin, its fur slightly matted, and its large, amber eyes were filled with fear. It trembled slightly, its gaze darting nervously around. Molly had never seen a fox so close before, and her initial excitement was replaced with concern. She knew foxes were usually shy creatures, often avoiding humans and dogs alike. Slowly, carefully, Molly lowered herself to the ground, her tail wagging gently. She wanted to show the fox that she meant no harm, that she only wanted to be friends. For a long moment, Molly and the fox simply stared at each other, an unspoken conversation passing between them. Molly kept her movements slow and deliberate, avoiding any sudden gestures that might frighten the fox. She offered a soft, reassuring whine, a sound of friendship and comfort. Slowly, hesitantly, the fox took a step forward, its nose twitching as it cautiously sniffed the air. It seemed curious, yet still wary. Molly remained still, allowing the fox to approach at its own pace. Finally, the fox took another step, then another, until it was just a few feet away from Molly. The fox, emboldened by Molly's gentle demeanor, tentatively nuzzled her nose. Molly responded with a soft lick on the fox's head, a gesture of acceptance and affection. From that moment on, an unlikely friendship began to blossom. Molly learned that the fox's name was Rusty, and that he was often lonely, having lost his family to a winter storm. Molly, in turn, shared stories of her cozy home and the kind humans who cared for her. They spent hours exploring the Whispering Woods together, Molly leading the way, and Rusty following close behind, his initial fear replaced with newfound confidence. One morning, Molly eagerly headed to their usual meeting spot in the woods, her tail wagging with anticipation. But Rusty wasn't there. Molly waited patiently, sniffing the air for his familiar scent, but there was no sign of him. As the hours passed, Molly grew increasingly worried. She searched the woods high and low, calling out Rusty's name, but only the whispering leaves answered her. A knot of anxiety tightened in her chest. Had something happened to her friend? Was he in danger? Determined to find Rusty, Molly began to follow the faintest of scents, sniffing the ground intently. She noticed a trail of disturbed leaves and broken twigs leading deeper into the woods, towards an area she rarely visited. The air grew colder, and the trees seemed to loom taller and more menacing. Molly pushed forward, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. She had to find Rusty, no matter what dangers lay ahead. The trail led her to a deep ravine, the bottom obscured by thick fog. A faint whimper echoed from below. Carefully, Molly peered over the edge of the ravine. There, trapped on a narrow ledge, was Rusty. He looked weak and scared, his leg caught in a tangle of roots. Without hesitation, Molly began to carefully descend into the ravine, using her strong legs and agile paws to navigate the steep, slippery slope. It was a treacherous climb, but Molly was determined to reach her friend. Finally, she reached the ledge where Rusty was trapped. She nudged him gently, offering a reassuring lick. Working carefully, Molly used her teeth to gently loosen the roots that held Rusty's leg captive. It took time and patience, but finally, Rusty was free. He whimpered with relief, nuzzling against Molly's fur. Together, they slowly and carefully made their way back up the ravine, supporting each other every step of the way. It was a challenging climb, but with Molly's strength and Rusty's determination, they finally reached the top, exhausted but triumphant. Back in the familiar clearing, Molly and Rusty rested, their bodies pressed close together. Rusty licked Molly's face in gratitude, his eyes shining with affection. From that day forward, their bond grew even stronger. They knew that they could always count on each other, no matter what challenges they faced. Molly continued to visit Rusty in the Whispering Woods every day, and their adventures together became legendary among the forest creatures. They proved that friendship could blossom in the most unexpected places, and that even the smallest of creatures could possess the greatest courage. Molly began bringing small gifts to Rusty, a tasty bone, a soft blanket, even a squeaky toy. Rusty, in turn, would leave little treasures for Molly, a shiny pebble, a colorful feather, or a perfectly formed acorn. They shared everything they had, their friendship growing richer with each passing day. Molly even introduced Rusty to her human family, who were initially surprised but quickly charmed by the little fox. They would leave out food and water for him, making him feel welcome and loved. As the seasons changed, Molly and Rusty remained the best of friends. They explored the Whispering Woods together, sharing laughter, secrets, and unwavering support. Their story became a reminder that friendship knows no boundaries, and that kindness and courage can overcome any obstacle. And so, Molly and Rusty continued their adventures, their tails wagging, their hearts full of joy, forever bound by the magic of an unlikely, unforgettable friendship in the Whispering Woods.